Hello and welcome to a new episode of Reddit or AI. Since the show is pretty new, I'm going to remind you of the concept. My lovely assistant Lita will read two stories from the AITA Reddit thread. The thing is, one of those stories won't actually be from the AITA thread. It's a pure AI creation. It's a bit like those people who make fake Reddit threads, but we're doing it on purpose for fun. And we'll tell you at the end which one is fake. Yes, we're almost like that. After each story, I'll give you my opinion on whether the OP is the scallywag or not, and you're free to agree or disagree with me. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. The theme for today's video is ridiculous office drama involving HR. Yes, sometimes it gets so bad in the office that even HR can't fix it. Our first story is AITA for perpetuating ethnic stereotypes about Jorts the cat. I don't know how this got ethnic or why, but let's see. Take it away, Lita.
Am I the a-hole for perpetuating ethnic stereotypes about Jorts, the cat? This post is about two cats who are named Jean and Jorts. The story. We have two workplace cats in one area of our worksite. They add value to the worksite, we all love the cats, and the worksite cat presence is not the issue. One of the cats, Jean, is a tortoiseshell cat we have had for years. The other cat, Jorts, is a large orange cat and a recent addition. Jorts is just kind of a simple guy. For example, Jorts can't open a door even when it's ajar. He shoves it, whether he is going in or out, so often he closes the door he is trying to go through. This means he is often trapped inside the place he was trying to exit and meows until he is rescued. My colleague, Pam, not her real name, has been spending a lot of time trying to teach Jorts things. The doors thing is the main example. It's a real issue because the cats are fed in a closet and Jorts keeps pushing the door closed. Jean can actually open all the other interior doors since they are a lever-type knob, but she can't open this particular door if she is trapped inside the closet. Torty Jean is very nice to poor orange Jorts, and she's kept busy letting him out of rooms he has trapped himself in, so this seems easy to resolve. I put down a doorstop. Then Pam said I was depriving Jorts the chance to learn and kept removing the doorstop. She set up a series of special learning activities for Jorts and tried to put these tasks on the whiteboard of daily team tasks. I erased them. She thinks we need to teach him how to clean himself better and how to get out of minor barriers, like when he gets a cup stuck in his head, etc. I love Jorts, but he's just dumb AF, and we can't change that. Don't get me wrong, watching her try to teach Jorts how to walk through a door is hilarious, but Jean got locked in the closet twice last week. Yesterday, I installed a cat cutout thing in the door, and Pam started getting really huffy. I made a gentle joke about, you can't expect Jean's tortoiseshell smarts from orange cat Jorts, which made Pam furious. She started crying and left the hallway, then sent an email to the group including volunteers and went home early. In her email, Pam said I was perpetuating ethnic stereotypes by saying orange cats are dumb and is demanding a racial sensitivity training before she will return. I don't think it's relevant, but just in case, Pam is a white person and a mostly minority staff. And no, she is not ginger, does not have red hair.
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, orange cats are stupider than torty cats? Look, I understand that orange cats have a bit of a reputation for not being the brightest, kind of like Garfield, but do we really need to involve HR over that? I think this is blown way out of proportion. Looks like there's an update though, so let's see how the rest of the story unfolds.
Update. Thanks for responding to my query, which had truly upset me. I worked to have a good relationship with my team, and the situation had gotten weird so gradually that I lost perspective. I just met with HR. She had already met with Pam. HR was concerned about Pam's comparing ethnic stereotypes with giving a cat a doorstop, and they addressed that, which went well. HR will follow up to make sure Pam understands. The replies to my query were helpful to me for this discussion. HR also addressed Pam assigning other staff Jorts-related tutoring, as it is not appropriate for Pam to assign others work. This also went well. We both think Pam had a hard time with the transition from volunteer to staff, and may have new kid sensitivity projected to Jorts. Pam got emotional about her perception that I favor Jean over Jorts, and gave specific examples. Some of these things are fair. Jorts deserves to be respected as a member of our team. There are 3 buildings in our workplace. Jean and Jorts are limited to 1. HR told me there were 5 holdouts about vaccines, and restricting unvaccinated people from entering the building to protect Jean and Jorts was enough to win over 4 of them. That's crazy, but great. More importantly, the cat's presence greatly enhances our work with our clients, and Jorts' friendly nature has been so great. Both cats truly are doing important work. Truly, Jorts deserves to be treated with respect. We all deserve to be treated with dignity at work, so I will apologize to Jorts about some things that were insensitive or disrespectful. A. Jean has a nice cat bed with her name on it, while Jorts has chosen an old boot tray in my office with a towel in it. Recently, a visitor put wet boots in the boot tray and Pam saw Jorts sleeping on the wet boots. I bought a bed for Jorts today and a name tag has been ordered. B. I will apologize to Jorts and remove the sign saying days since Jorts had a trash can mishap, 0. Jorts likes to fish dirty paper cups out and he often falls into the bin or gets a cup stuck on his head, etc. He is able to get out of the bin by tipping it over, so it isn't a safety issue. C. Jean's staff bio has a photo of Jean, while Jorts' bio has a photo of a sweet potato. I did not actually know either cat had a staff bio, but we will use a photo of Jorts instead of a sweet potato. HR also suggested changing Pam's duties so she is in charge of the cats. This I refused. The cats are my staff, not Pam's. I think Pam was well-intended, but actually not meeting the needs of either Jean or Jorts, so they remain under my supervision. Also, Pam is not to put cups on Jorts' head or intentionally put him into frustrating situations given his unique needs. Lastly, and this made us both laugh so hard we can't deal with it in person and will be said via email, Pam admits that she has been putting margarine on Jorts in an attempt to teach him to groom himself better. This may explain the diarrhea problem Jean developed, which required a vet visit. Pam is not to apply margarine to any of her coworkers. Jean has shown she is willing to be in charge of helping Jorts stay clean. If this task becomes onerous for Jean, we can have a groomer help. I am crying, laughing, typing this.
Well, this has a happy ending. Your coworker was clearly projecting something onto the cats, and it's good that HR addressed that. To be fair, it does look like you made fun of the cat. Probably not in a nasty way, but it's also good that you'll be stopping and giving the orange cat a little more respect. Even orange cats deserve respect. For this one, I'd say you're not the scalawag, at least not anymore. I've unfortunately never worked in a place that allowed pets, but it seems like it's working out well in your case. It almost makes me jealous. Now, before we go to the second story, let me tell you about today's sponsor, the ebook Echoes of the Soul Reaper. This book is a paranormal romance with lots of mystery, or if you prefer, a paranormal mystery with lots of romance. It has the most fascinating concept. A forensic accountant accidentally bonds with an ancient soul that's been trapped for decades. They share thoughts, memories, and experiences across centuries while uncovering a supernatural conspiracy. The soul-sharing dynamic is brilliantly done. It's available on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes& Noble, basically everywhere ebooks are sold. Now, let's move to our second story. Am I the scalawag for discriminating against my coworker's cactus collection? Geez, I wonder what this is about.
Am I the a-hole for discriminating against my coworker's cactus collection? I, 28 female, work in a mid-sized accounting firm with open-plan cubicles. This situation involves my cubicle neighbor, Derek, 35 male, and his obsession with cacti. 6 months ago, Derek started bringing in cacti for his desk. It started with one small barrel cactus, which was fine. But Derek has now accumulated 47 different cacti species across his entire cubicle space. I'm talking massive prickly cares, towering saguaro wannabes, and these weird fuzzy ones that look like they're from another planet. Here's where it gets problematic. Derek has named all of them and treats them like coworkers. He says good morning to each one individually. This takes 12 minutes every day. I've timed it. He plays them classical music during lunch. He even bought tiny hard hats for the construction zone cacti near his computer. The issue started when Derek began speaking for his cacti during meetings. He'll say, "Spike here thinks we should reconsider the Peterson account," or "Desert Rose suggests we push back the deadline." Our manager initially thought it was quirky but harmless. Everything escalated 3 weeks ago. I was rushing to a client call and accidentally bumped Derek's desk, causing a small cactus named Prickles to fall over. No damage, just tipped sideways in its pot. Derek flipped out. He started screaming that I was plantist and discriminating against desert flora. He demanded I apologize to Prickles personally and accused me of having anti-succulent bias. I refused to apologize to a plant, which apparently made Derek cry. He filed a complaint with HR, claiming I was creating a hostile work environment for him and his green family. HR called a meeting. I thought they'd tell Derek to tone it down, but instead they asked me to be more mindful of Derek's emotional support plants and suggested I take a workplace sensitivity course. They made Derek write up care instructions for all 47 cacti in case someone needs to water them when he's sick. The final straw was yesterday. Derek set up a memorial corner for a cactus that died over the weekend. Apparently, Mr. Needles succumbed to root rot. He hung up a framed photo, brought in flowers, and spent an hour delivering a eulogy during work time. When I rolled my eyes, Derek reported me again for mocking his grief process. Now Derek wants me transferred to a different floor because my negative energy is affecting his plant's growth. He's created an Excel spreadsheet tracking each cactus's happiness levels and claims there's a correlation between my proximity and their declining morale. My other coworkers are split. Half think Derek is ridiculous, but the other half say I should just play along to keep the peace. My manager suggested I bring in a plant too so Derek doesn't feel targeted, but I have a black thumb and honestly find this whole situation insane. Am I the a-hole for not accommodating Derek's cactus obsession and refusing to treat houseplants like actual coworkers?
Okay, this one is so bizarre that I don't really know what to think. I mean, come on, you can like plants, but making them talk, dressing them up? What's next? Putting pics on Instagram? Giving them a salary? I don't buy the emotional support cacti line. I mean, emotional support animals are already borderline, but emotional support plants? What's the limit? An emotional support plushie collection in the office? I'm also not a fan of management's reaction. It's like, oh, he likes plants and that annoys you. Just buy a plant of your own. Not everybody's crazy about plants. You're entirely allowed to have a black thumb. Maybe you should just stick with the plastic plant. It looks like this one's going to get even crazier because we have an update.
Update. Derek has escalated to corporate and I'm losing my mind. Holy crap, this blew up way more than I expected. Thanks for all the comments. Reading them kept me sane during this absolute nightmare week. So, Derek found my original post. Apparently, someone sent it to him. He printed out screenshots and marched straight to corporate HR, claiming I was cyberbullying him and his plants on social media. Corporate sent down their workplace wellness specialist, a woman named Janet, who takes everything Derek says completely seriously. She spent 3 hours interviewing Derek about his plant parenting journey and actually wrote down his cacti's individual personality profiles. Janet then held a mandatory inclusive workplace diversity meeting for our entire floor about respecting unconventional coping mechanisms. She made everyone watch a 45-minute PowerPoint about plant-parent discrimination in corporate settings that Derek apparently helped create. But here's where it gets absolutely unhinged. Derek has now filed for plant parental leave whenever one of his cacti's gets sick. He took 2 days off last week because his prickly pear Patricia was showing signs of stress and needed intensive care. HR approved it.
No.
The other departments are now mocking our entire floor. Someone from marketing started a betting pool on how many plants Derek will bring in by Christmas. Current count, 53. People walk by our cubicles taking photos of Derek's plant nursery setup. My manager quietly told me he's trying to transfer Derek to the remote work program, but Derek refuses because he says his cacti's need consistent office lighting and thrive in the professional environment. Yesterday, Derek installed a security camera pointing at his plants because he's convinced someone is sabotaging their growth cycles. He actually accused me of breathing too much CO2 in their direction. I'm updating my resume. This job market can't be worse than working next to someone who just scheduled a performance review with his favorite barrel cactus. The worst part? 3 other people in the office have started bringing in plants to support Derek's vision. We now have a waiting list for plant approval because apparently there's a maximum flora capacity per floor. I can't even make this stuff up anymore. Final update in comments because people keep asking, Derek just got promoted to Office Wellness Coordinator and his first initiative is mandatory plant adoption for all employees. I'm transferring departments.
In this case, it looks like HR is just as unhinged as the plant person they're supposed to be helping, which is actually not helping. Seriously, though, if all the other people in your department are making fun of you, you should probably think that something's wrong on your side. Unfortunately, some people's power of delusion is sometimes greater than their common sense. I'm glad you're moving to a saner department, as it looks like the botanical circus isn't your cup of tea. Now it's time for the big reveal. Which of these 2 stories do you think is real, and which one do you think was created by AI? Be careful, often reality can be weirder than fiction. I'll give you 3 seconds before the big reveal. 3, 2, 1. The fake story is the one about the cactus collection. To be honest, I was also thinking that one was a little far-fetched, but I've seen stranger things on Reddit. We're getting to the end of this video, but don't worry, I'll be making more content like this on other subjects like messy breakups, wedding drama, and other office shenanigans. To not miss any, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out with YouTube and the algorithm. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.